everyone. My name is Windy Lim, and I'm a stand-up comedian, and I'm part of a community called Batavia Jokers. And I have to tell you why I could stand here doing stand-up comedy. It was because 4 days ago, the founder of Batavia Jokers, Ben, who you will meet shortly, he called me, and then he said, Windy, do not ask any question, just say yes. Sunday, 6 a.m., just say yes. And I was, Ben, what? No, do not ask, just say yes. And I was like, Ben, that's a very bad proposal, by the way. Is that how you propose to your wife? I mean, if you want me to be your second wife, at least show me a ring. No. Well, today's Kartini Day, right? So I have to talk about Kartini, obviously. As an Indonesian woman, I admire Kartini. I am jealous of her, in fact. Not because she fought for gender equality, but because she could earn a title as a national hero by complaining. I mean, we all complain every day. She got her complaints published as a book. We also earn a title, but it's called Twitter Social Justice Warrior. And yeah, well, but to think of it, you know, Kartini, she could be popular because of her progressive thinking, but also because it was written in the 19th century. Kartini wrote her letters when she was around 19 to 25 years old. So basically, she was a 19th century Gen Z sending DMs to her friends about her quarter life crisis, right? It just so happened that it happened like 100 years ago, so it got published. But if it were to be written nowadays, I think it will sound something like this. Dear sis, please bear with me, I just need to vent. Oh my God, I cannot believe it's so unfair that my brother got to study in the Netherlands while my sister and we get to stay at home because guess what? We are girls. Yikes, people here are such boomers. Heart emoji, fire emoji, hola emoji. But again, if we ask, why could Kartini be so progressive? Because she was rich and she had a father who was a regent back then, so she could afford school. So, you know, I want to tell for all the Indonesian women who kept complaining about rich, privileged women, including me. Well, you know what? We all could read, write, and complain on Twitter because a rich girl in the 19th century was complaining about her life, about other privileged girls. So we're on the right track. Stay there. We're on the right track. And also, well, the other thing was, Kartini was famous back then because she was smart and progressive, right? But girls nowadays are famous because we dance on TikTok and we post on adult websites and we pretend to be dumb. Well, I mean, it's good for the girls, they got paid for it, but it could send a wrong message for the future generations that it's all you have to do to get famous. So I have an idea. What if we put like some warning on those websites that exploits girls? You know, like those warning about on the cigarette packets, right? Like smoking could kill you, it causes cancer, and then they have scary pictures of lung cancer, etc. We put on those platforms that exploits women a picture of Kartini that says, "Dear sis, are you sure you want to do this? I didn't write all hundreds of letters by hand," which was, by the way, very expensive to send back then, "for this." From Kartini, love emoji, fire emoji, strong bicep emoji. That's it from me. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, give it up for everyone. Thank you so much. Have a seat there, and welcome back to the C Morning Show. As you can see, we kicked off this segment with a special kind of mini stand-up comedic session with Windy Lim. And as mentioned, she is part of Batavia Jokers, and we have joining us as well right beside her. He was mentioned at the top of the skit there. Ben, you are the founder of Batavia Jokers. Welcome to you both.
Thank you so much for having us here.
Right. So let's get started. Thank you for your performance, by the way. I love nothing like a good laugh to kick off the morning.
Yes.
But let's start off by asking Ben about Batavia Jokers. Tell us about it. Is it a community? How did it get started? And when did it get started?
Very good question. So my friend Windy is going to explain everything. Because it's Kartini's day, we have to. It's her.
yes.
No. So basically, we're a bunch of comedians. We met on a website called Grindr, and then we went to a comedy club. But Windy came joined in a bit later, so we joined in Ketawa Comedy Club.
Okay.
It was one of the best, probably the only one comedy club around 2-3 years ago in Jakarta. We joined us. There was a routine English comedy session, and hey, we always see the same people, the same 7 to 10 people. Oh, why don't we just do a group? And then it blew up from there.
Okay, so at the time, most of the comedians were doing Indonesian stand-up comedy routines, and there was a select few that was doing it in English.
No, there was, so in Ketawa Comedy Club, they had 2 days. On Saturday, they would do the regular Bahasa Indonesia open mic session.
Right.
On Friday, we do the English comedy session. Yeah.
Very cool. That's how this all began.
Yeah,
Very
it
interesting.
is.
So how is the process if somebody wants to actually join the Batavia joke club? What do they need to do? Is there any special requirement that you and also your
You audition them?
Your audition, that's a good one. We will fail.
No,
Yeah.
miserably. Miserably.
No, they just have to put up with Ben.
No, the entrance fee is on 15 million. But because today is a very special day, you can join us for free. Just follow us at Instagram, Batavia Jokers.
There's a discount.
I have no shame. So yeah, basically we're very open to everyone who wants to try something in their craft. Like Windy is a theater major.
Not major.
Oh, you're a
I'm
theater.
part of the theater community.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Is it not? All right.
Okay, you can claim yourself as a...
can claim yourself.
Nobody will know.
Yeah. So Windy, she joined in because she loves to perform on stage, because she craves attention, and because we're Asians, right? We don't get many of that from our parents. So that's why we start up
Very
the
true.
comedy. So literally anyone can join. You don't have to be a fluent English speaker.
Right.
You can literally anyone. Even if you do makeup for dead people,
Ah,
Oh, there you
perhaps
go.
Elsa.
Are you up for that?
I will join.
It's an official invitation for you.
You want me to endorse you?
oh yes,
Makeup for free?
I'm dead on the inside. So.
Looking ahead for the future. But there's no age limitation
No,
to
no.
join that.
No, we have someone who is over, how old is oldest?
50.
85, just say 85. We have someone who is 50 years old. We have someone who is
That qualifies
4
me
years
almost.
old. No.
But speaking of stand-up, the communities in Indonesia, there is a growing amount of people who enjoy stand-ups.
Yes.
But from you guys who are actually up on stage, how is the feedback like? Is it different between the Indonesian audience, I mean the Bahasa audience, and also the English-speaking ones?
Okay, so that's a very tricky situation. We have to adapt constantly all the time, because there were times where we perform where mostly we have expats, so we can use the jokes as an international reference. If it's mostly local, we have to tone down, we have to slow down a little bit. We have to use a lot of local references. So for instance, Windy did a lot of jokes about Kartini.
Yep.
Like if you do that to a lot of expats, they will be so confused.
Yes.
So
You have to know the history and
the
understand
history, they probably never heard of Kartini after living for 15 years or so. We just need to constantly adapt to the situation.
You know, I would argue that stand-up comedy, it's like certain genres of music. It was actually birthed in the English language, whereas, I would say that stand-up comedy, it's fairly new. The past 2 decades, I would say I've seen, stand-up comedians in Bahasa. What is it like for you guys, and what are the major challenges? I mean, you mentioned a couple of them as well, in regards to, where do you balance what your content will be about, because you do have local content, but bringing it in English language. And I do, we have to recognize that here in Indonesia, English is it's spoken much more widely these days as well. So when you actually have a show to perform, how do you decide beforehand, like how much of this am I going to put in local content, and how much are jokes easier to perform in English? Because, like I said, stand-up comedy was birthed in English, so perhaps it's easier to deliver some of the punchlines in English as opposed to local language.
Okay, you want to take this one with me?
Okay, yeah. Well, I think, it's also important to think about the audience, but stand-up comedy is also about what you think. So first, you have to question yourself of what do you actually want to talk about, and then you can think about the audience on how to deliver it. Like, for example, you're talking to international audience, then you can give them some context first so they could understand what you're about to talk about, and perhaps like find some silver lining, like find something that's universal, but still like very close to your heart, close to what you want to say. I think, yeah, that's a serious answer. Now make it funny.
Now deliver the punchline.
Translate that.
Yes, it's your job.
Well, you just do it, really. You just do it. Like, if you see, like, you can't expect to please everyone.
Yes.
You'll get, if most of them are happy, like, who cares, really? Just do it. So, but probably what we're aiming for, I'm not sure if this answers the question, we want to show people that we exist. Even though we're Batavia jokers, we're not related to Batavia dancers. Well,
Are we not?
It depends how much money you have.
Comes back to that.
Always back to that. But we want to show that we exist. If you want to see an alternative, there's a lot of the Indonesian stand-up comedy scene is huge.
Yes.
It's amazing. There are shows almost every 2-3 months. But also, we also exist. So that's pretty much what we're trying to show to people.
Yes.
Awesome.
Now, and you know, as Elsa, you're actually in a different industry,
Yes.
makeup industry, and also Ben and also Wendy, you're in the stand-up comedy industry. So these two industries are pretty much
Different.
different alike.
We're dead on the inside. So.
Different, but what I can say is for Elsa, you actually help yourself to explore more and also to learn more about doing makeup by yourself. But how about you, Wendy? Is it like a natural gift for you to be funny since you were such in a young age? Maybe because Elsa has that gift already because, you know, she likes to do that.
Like working on your craft, right, so to speak.
Yeah. How about you?
I think the only natural thing that came to me was as I turned 30.
Right? Okay.
Really? I think you're 25.
What's with the laugh?
I learned to realize, I have so much problem in my life. Might as well laugh about it.
That's fine.
Yes,
Life's
right?
too short.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let it out. Let it out.
Just wait until you're 40. You're in your 40s.
Thank you for the word of encouragement. Yeah, but then, I think Brad also mentioned before, because I came from a theater community.
Right.
So at first I wanted to do stand-up because I thought it was similar to a monologue.
Okay.
Well, it was actually, but
But Ben changed it.
I ruined it for her.
yeah, you ruined it for me. No, but like it has a lot of similarities. Like you perform to an audience, and then you have the space, you have the stage, you have the script.
Yeah.
So like I learned so much about stand-up from theater, but I also learned how I could incorporate the comedy part into the theater. So they're basically like pretty much related to each other, and I just love the performing arts. So basically,
And I
yeah.
guess practicing makes perfect, right? Like, I mean, you having performed over and over, that is how you work on your craft as well, right? You hone your skills when you're actually on stage.
Yeah, but we constantly doubt ourselves.
But speaking of practices, are there any techniques in the stand-up comedy world, or you just do it, you just get up on stage and...
Like, do you stand up in front of a mirror at home and practice your
Yes.
material at
That's
home?
probably the worst advice. If someone just do it on a mirror. Probably the number one advice is you must have no shame.
Oh, you must have no shame.
but really, you have to do it for the fun of it. Like Wendy is terrified before he did that. She was amazing, right? Amazing, but she was terrified. She wanted to die. So was I, but then I
Call
didn't have
me.
to perform.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Don't worry, we have the right.
Oh, thank you. You're here.
You've got Elsa's specialty there, right?
Yes.
Elsa, do you watch stand-up comedy that
Yes,
often?
I was. I perform on the dead people. So they cannot
Not
laugh.
much feedback, though.
Yeah.
Just getting laugh.
But I try my best,
You
you
can
know.
join. Ben, can you require?
Definitely. We do
There
have
you go.
we do have a lot of people that are like dead people in the audience, so we will definitely. Even if you don't laugh at the show, at least you can go home and looking pretty.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. You look good
Yeah.
doing
You
it.
look pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you talked a little bit about how you perform for even like expats here or the local audience. Have you guys ever performed outside of Indonesia?
Why? Why? That's a very interesting question. Should I answer it? All right. So as a group, some of our comedians have performed abroad, performed in Singapore, in Edinburgh.
Nah. Is that you, Wendy?
No,
Is it you?
I
Who is-
perform in American club.
American? It doesn't count. Do you know anyone who has performed in Edinburgh in the
No,
UK?
I
Wendy?
don't. No. Who is that? Yeah, Ben has performed.
Yeah, I
Oh, there you go.
Ah, it's you. Okay.
The Edinburgh Fringe Festival is one of the biggest art festivals in the world. No, it's the biggest art festival in the world. Last year, me and a couple of comedians, Mo Sidik, Regia Sibuan, Dara Pandawa, and me, we performed there for like a month. We flew all the way to Edinburgh and we performed for around 2 people per day. It was very difficult to sell tickets.
Not very different with
Yeah,
our
not very different.
open mic in Jakarta.
Very different.
But yeah,
What is that like? Like, does your local content work there, and how do you balance it out? Like, I
Well-
mean, perhaps you're giving context, like Wendy said first.
you have to give a little bit of context, but then you have to realize if you want to perform abroad and you don't, you have to work on a joke that's probably gonna work in the UK, in the States, in
Right.
Singapore, in Jakarta. So you have to try something that's on a bigger scale that could possibly reach a bigger market.
Gotcha.
So that's what we're working on while we were there. Yeah.
Very cool.
Wow.
Since today is Kartini Day,
Yes.
Wendy, I'm just very curious. How is the stand-up comedians, I mean the female stand-up comedians here in Indonesia?
I think it's very rare. I mean, I would encourage like women who think like they want to try, just try it. just
Why is
do
that? Because
it.
I find like women are really funny. Like, why is there more
Thank you,
male
thank you,
comedians?
I don't know, Ben. Why, man?
You're not recruiting enough women? What's happening here?
No, I think it's because men and women think in a different way.
Yes.
Because men don't really care. All right, this one doesn't work.
I love to ask Wendy's thoughts after
Women
this.
are the analyzers.
Always complaining. Complaining.
True, Elsa.
So Wendy, when he was a little boy, right? No, I think it's because it's a very good. I think more women should do more comedy because it releases a lot of stress.
Yes.
Like it releases a lot of anger and a lot of pain that you can craft and twist into a joke rather than just complaining on Twitter like my wife. So I think it's a very good outlet.
But remember how complaining has brought and bring all these women together. All the successes.
Fair enough.
But if I
Very
may
nice.
add,
Please do.
perhaps on a more serious
Yeah.
note, perhaps it also comes down to like women, we grew up being told that our opinion do not matter as much as the guys. Like guys are encouraged to give their arguments and opinions, and women are said to be more, like just follow the crowd, or just like don't have that so many arguments. When
Be
you
seen
ask
and not
too
heard.
many questions. Yeah, right.
That's why Wendy is still single. So
Thank you for the announcement.
at Wendy Lim, if you want to. What the lim?
Now,
Yeah.
for Elsa, so Kartini Day for you, what does it mean?
Kartini is like, you don't have to be rich first.
Yes.
If you want to help, just help. Whatever you have a talent from God. You have your time for hearing people, anything. The Kartini is mean like you have to build the light
Yes.
of this life, only that.
Be the light of the
Whatever it is, whether you're making someone look beautiful or
Yes.
making people
To
laugh,
laugh,
I
yeah.
think these are all gifts that you guys should be continue to share with the rest of the
Amen
world.
to that.
You too, Ben. Even
thank
though
you.
it's Kartini. Anyway, thank you all for coming on. I'm glad to have
you
this
so
group
much for having us.
conversation.
Yeah,
It's
thank
really
you.
great, and
Yeah.
good luck for Batavia Jokers. Any upcoming performances that we should look out for?
We do have a few performances. We have a show on the 28th of April.
There you go.
On the 26th of April, we have a show on the 30th of April at Kaum Restaurant Menteng.
Right down the street.
right down the street, I have my show coming at chomika.id. It's a streaming. You just need to pay 100K. So
Okay.
There you go.
Almost free. It's almost free.
it's all good.
Thank you guys.
Okay,
thank you,
thank
Vanessa,
you.
Thank
as
you.
well.
Thank
As
you.
always.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you,
Thank
today.
you.
Right.
See you guys next week. Yeah.
We're going to take a short break here on the program, but we have plenty more to come, including some very interesting news that you definitely want to stay tuned for. We'll be right back.